Wellness Wednesday. Laura here. Menopause or non-period, you can thrive rather than just survive menopause. Now today, I haven't got someone with me. I'm going to attempt to do a Facebook Live, and I'm going to try and invite Emma Reeves, who's our guest speaker today, on to the call. So let's see if here she is. Is this going to work? Send request, and hopefully Emma will join me. Always laugh with these lives how big my head is. Good morning. Oh my God, we made it work.
Oh my goodness. Hi.
I'm going to give myself a hug, and also I need to sit back because you don't want to see up my nostrils, which is what happened at a previous talk.
Do you know what? This could look absolutely fine for us, and then when it actually goes on your page, it will probably be like up here.
The powers of modern technology. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome.
Thanks for
I'm chuckling to myself because I keep teasing you, thinking, where is she going to show up this week? Because you're doing a bit of a me on social media. You're like, oh my God, she's here. She's in Basingstoke this morning. She was in Romford. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Monday, I was in Romford. Do you know what? I joked to you, didn't I? I was like, I'm going to do it from my car today. But I managed to make it home.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm at home, so I've definitely got a secure network. And
that's perfect.
Wi-Fi won't go down, fingers crossed, and all sorts. So
that's the thing, isn't it? Managing motherhood, you know, all of these things in business. It's real life, baby.
It is, right? It is. It really is.
So anyway,
yes. So I did 2 MIB events on Monday. So I did mine in Reading, and then travelled to Romford for Sammy's, which was lovely. It was so good. I mean, it was such a long way away. Essex is really far.
It is a long, long way away. And do you know what? I think that sums up MIB, doesn't it? Because there is something about our community, which is that people will go out of their way for each other. And I know Sam is coming down to speak at my meeting as well in July, but actually that we're willing to do that. And I knew that we were going to like jump into MIB. I can't help it because I'll just introduce you. I knew we were going to start talking about it because we're both very passionate. But today I wanted to talk to you. This is about you today, Emma Reeves. This is about shout out to Emma, talk about her amazing business as an events planner. And also to talk a bit about MIB, because we can't really not talk about MIB, can we? Because that's where we met.
Yeah, definitely.
And then also, we have got a very exciting event coming up that we want to, I like to say in the words of Sam Byrne, breadcrumb. So just to, you know, put it out there, social media technique, put a hint out there about something that we've got coming up at the end of the year. So let's talk about MIB then. So you are MIB leader for Reading. She's not just Reading, she's Reading and Newbury.
I am.
So it is amazing, isn't it? I mean, I love the culture, and I've only obviously just come in and been in for a year, but there's something about this special community, isn't there? And I don't know about you, but what I love is that our founder is there for us. You know, she's a busy entrepreneur, she's a successful businesswoman, but we've already had messages this morning, haven't we, from her. We've got Sam, who's our team leader, again, who's always giving lots of support. And that's one of the things I think with MIB for me is that, you know, lots of people think you could set up a networking group and it'd be easy, but for me it's like, no, you need quite a lot of support, and that's what you get, isn't it, when you join the community. Definitely. We ourselves support each other, and then we get so much coaching behind the scenes. And also I think Sam says it's almost like you would cut someone open and they'd have the MIB in them. It's the culture, isn't it, that goes all the way through.
I used to laugh at her when she said that, and now I'm one of those people.
I know, exactly.
I absolutely feel the same as you, Laura. Like I started off to be fair, coming to Sophie's group, because she was at the time she was actually Arborfield at the time. So and then it changed to Wokingham and surrounding areas. So she was literally down the road from me, and and I was like, oh, this is terrifying. Oh, I don't know what to do. And I went along, and it was the most welcoming environment. So I was there for a good couple of years. And then I went to one of Sophie's like bigger events. And I ended up sitting on a table with Sammy, Leona.
No way.
And like some other leaders. And I would say I got, forced to be a leader. But I mean, let's be honest. Did I? No. So I then, just over 2 years ago, I then became a leader of Reading. Was like, what am I doing? This is not something that was in my path at all. And then, last year I then became the Newbury leader as well. And honestly, I I love it.
I love
oh
it.
my goodness. And I think actually it reaffirmed it for me this week, because when I went down to Romford, we attract a certain type of person who are the most kind, beautiful, incredible ladies that are so like-minded. I know that sounds really cliche, but it's
no.
They get in this room and they stay forever. And I've made so many friends, and you know, us to include I've made so many friends, and it's not just about the business, it's about not feeling lonely when you're running your business as well.
Exactly.
And you know, I went into Romford meeting and it was like I'd been there forever. Like, it was just so lovely. It was so lovely.
Loving your little, you can move, baby. I'm loving those posts this week. Amazing. Woo! I just want to add one thing before we go on to talking a bit more about you. Also, I think that for me, a lady in our group this week is nervous about introducing herself. But I think that because of our warm, friendly atmosphere and the fact that you can show up as yourself, it's very authentic. We help people in these spaces, because let's face it, it's really daunting. And if I hadn't had the support, I wouldn't even be a leader now and willing to stand up. So I think that culture is like really, really, really important. But let's get back to you now, events planner extraordinaire.
You're so sweet. I haven't paid her to say this, I promise.
So tell us how you got into events planning, and I know you're going to share some tips in a minute.
Okay, so do you know what? It wasn't this whole love story at all. I've got no like massive I had an epiphany or anything like that. So I was doing my A-levels back when I was 18, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew that I didn't want to do more learning, like actual like going to university and doing that structured learning. I mean, we're always learning every day, but you know, the official learning, I knew I didn't want to do that. And at the time I was working for John Lewis. I was doing part-time doing John Lewis High Wycombe, and there was this job that was going at one of their private hotels to be an events coordinator, and I was like, do you know what, I actually quite like organising stuff. I feel quite, you know, feel quite good when I'm organising stuff. So I was like, I'll go for it, and I got it, which was amazing.
Amazing.
And then I've literally for the last 15 years I've then been doing events. So I went from John Lewis, I then moved over to Reading Football Club. I call it Medeski, but obviously it's not Medeski now, it's Select Car Leasing, but it'll always be Medeski to me. So I went over to Medeski. Then I went and did some work in London with an event agency for a couple of years, and then realised I didn't like commuting to London every day, even though the job was amazing. Honestly, I was like, what am I doing?
I know.
I think I had to scratch that itch of working in London for an events agency. I think that was kind of like my thing. But then realised that I'd done that, and then I could come back out of London again. And then my longest job was working for Porsche Cars. So I worked in Thiel for Porsche Cars in their events team, organising all of their events up and down the country. So Goodwood, and launching cars in beautiful places and all of that sort of stuff, which was amazing. Then COVID hit, that lovely word. And me and my husband decided to have a baby.
As you do.
All that time
picked up.
What else is going on? So then we had our little boy, who is now 5. I realised that actually Porsche wasn't the place for me to raise a child and also have a career. So I then moved to work at the University of Reading, organising all their internal events.
Oh, you've done a lot. I didn't know half of this.
I have, yeah. And then, so during working at the uni, I then started up my events company, which has now changed names because I was with a business partner before. So I had a year with my business partner.
Sure.
And then at the end of 2024, I left my uni job and cut ties with my business partner, and then became Emma Reeves Events at the start of last year. So actually Emma Reeves Events feels super new, but actually
doing it for a while.
It's been going on for such a long time. And then in between all of that, I actually was a police officer for 2 years. So
my God, no way!
Yeah, so I was a voluntary police officer, so I was a special for 2 years because I didn't know if I wanted to do events or be a police officer. So I thought I'd just do both.
Fair enough. We're all guilty of that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Amazing. I love hearing this. I love hearing all of the journey that got you to where you are today.
Yeah.
So Emma, I obviously dabble in a few events myself, nowhere near the scale of what you do, but it is a real skill, managing events of this scale. So what are your top tips for people?
I think, do you know what? I think the first one for me, when anybody's even thinking about planning an event, is have a look at why you're doing it. So why are you wanting to put on this event? And actually, is it necessary to do an in-person event, or would an online event do? Or even sometimes you come to the crux of it and you think an event is like this whole, yes, I really want to do it, but actually an email or a newsletter would suffice for something like that. So because it's like you said, people you're fantastic at it. This is not me talking about you, but you're fantastic at it. But people dabble in it and they think it's super easy, and then they get to it and they're like, oh my goodness, there's so much more to think about. And it's not just the fun stuff, like not just finding the venue and the caterers and the you know, getting a photo booth in, or you know, obviously that's very broad, but it's about the compliance and the risk and the health and safety and all of that really boring stuff that you do have to do. So that would be my first top tip, is actually think about, do you need to do this event? Does it need to look like an in-person event, or could it look like something else?
I like that.
The second thing I would say is get a plan in place. So before you even start to go out to anybody, make sure you've got a date in mind, the timing, what you require from the event, so the space, you know, how obviously we're going to come on to, you know, our exciting event, but kind of what we've been speaking about, you know, make sure we've got a really solid project plan, so that if anybody comes to us and says, what about this, you'll know it straight away, and you don't have to go, oh, I'm not sure, I haven't thought about that. And then my other thing would be have a budget. As much as you can. Obviously that changes slightly, but venues do come, you know, especially if you're going to a venue, they'll come back and go, what's your budget? And you don't necessarily have to tell them, but you want to have something in your mind that goes, this is a bit much, this is a bit much, or actually this works really well, or you know, that sort of stuff as well. So my last one I would say actually is in terms of suppliers, book them in as soon as possible, because they do get busy. And they are worth their weight in gold. Like, they are the experts. And I appreciate some people are like, oh, they're really expensive, all this. But actually, that's what you're paying. You're paying them for being the expert of their field, right? And that generally they save you money in the long run. If you do it all yourself, it then becomes, you'll find cracks in it, and then you'll end up having to fill those cracks with more money than you wanted to. So
you know, those are amazing tips, and do you know what, you've absolutely positioned my next comment perfectly, because I wanted to talk about why we've collaborated. And it is because one of my things is, my rules of life is, don't be a clever dick. Don't try and think you are the expert in everything. And you've just highlighted that there. And that's why, because I'm going to be planning one of the biggest events yet, I have teamed up with you, because that's where the expertise is. And I think that's one thing that we teach in MIB as well, about the importance of collaborating and seeing where the experts are. You know, you gain so much from working with other people.
I agree, Laura. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think, you know, you led me on. I don't know whether you're telepathic, but that was going to be my lead into our
That's one of my skills. I've got lots of, that's one of my skills,
Among the police officer and the event planner, it's endless. But yeah, that's why we've teamed up. So guys, the event that Emma and I are planning is going to be at the end of the year. You will have seen earlier on in last year, it's going to be around the same time, I led an online event around perimenopause and menopause, and we're going to be replicating that through a face-to-face event. So we're not going to fully launch it. It's something that we're working on, but we are interested in perimenopause and menopause experts. So anyone within our communities that's interested in supporting women, whether you've got a product that helps women in perimenopause and menopause, whether you're working in that industry, we want to hear about you, because this is something that we're going to be planning. It's going to be as I always say, I think Ali Gattenby always says, Laura, you get excited about everything. So I'm like, I'm really excited about this. I'm excited about everything. But this event is going to be big. It's going to incorporate lots of people. It's going to be an opportunity for you to really network and shine as well in your own businesses.
Yeah.
And it's something that we're going to be doing towards the end of the year. So watch this space is basically what I'm saying.
I genuinely am so excited. And I think,
excited.
you know, and I think it's gone from a perfect expansion from you going from online, which was a real success. It was amazing, to then when we were talking about it, you were like, I really want to do this event. And actually it makes sense to do it in person because people can then be together. And, you know, like one of my tips where I was like, do you need to have an event? This is a prime example where I would say absolutely yes.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited. So, and we love to involve people. I'm Mrs. Collaboration Queen.
You are.
So I do love to, you know, one of my passions, sole purpose, whatever you want to call it, is to help other women, you know, find themselves, connect, sell their businesses. So we have got this opportunity for people to get involved. So that has been absolutely amazing. I've loved your tips. I've enjoyed shouting out our MIB, which is where we connected. Yay!
And I was trying to think, Laura. I was trying to think the other day where we actually met, like where we first met, and I can't remember.
I think it was at the Rose Inn.
Yeah.
And possibly there.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But I think, do you know what? I think that's the beauty of MIB as well. You almost feel like you've known people forever. Don't you think?
I know.
I'm like, did I not know you pre-Henry? And this is my son. And everyone's like, well, no, because you didn't have your own business then. Why would I know you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's mad. So.
But also, I think, and we could probably talk for a long time. So both high energy. But I think that people are willing to shout out about MIB, including me, because I'm really, really conscious of which brands I align to. And in fact, I am my own brand.
Yeah.
And that's been, because people do approach me. Yeah. And I think that for me, you know, it feels in line with my own values. And that's why I'm happy to shout about it.
Definitely.
And you've got to feel it, haven't you? You know, you've got to really be able to, you know, genuinely connect about it, if you know what I mean. So I think that's why we do have people that are just willing to, you know, to shout out about how good it is. I know. Right, we better get on with our work.
Thank you. I know I'm gonna go to Yvonne's MIB meeting.
I know. See, look, you're at. She's so good this week. Honestly, she's doing it.
This week I'm absolutely shattered, Laura. I tell you.
I can imagine.
Honestly, but it's for the greater good, and I bloody love it. So you know, can't complain. But thank you so much, my love.
No worries. And you've got your Newbury meeting on Friday, so guys,
you've got your Wakeman meeting.
Yeah,
on Friday.
We didn't plan this, but you know.
It will never happen again, people.
Never.
I tell you, we'll be
so
on
have
it.
a great meeting, and I'll see you very soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Bye.